fellas, this year you both got big fights in the pipeline. Do you both, in different ways, feel like you got something to prove this year? Maybe something different in the sense that, Barry, you're going to be taking this step up that you've been craving for a long time, and Billy, you're on a road to redemption this year. Bill?
I think that's just, I'll just go with the flow. I think that, I don't think I've got to prove anything to anyone because I know what I can do. I just got to obviously put the hard work in and do it. You know, sometimes opportunities present themselves and you have to take them, didn't you? So it's one of them situations what I'm in at the minute.
Have we seen the last of you at middleweight?
Definitely not, no. I'm more of a natural middleweight than I am super middleweight, but you know, I walk around at, you know, 13, 10 anyway, like when I'm not in camp, so. But it's one of them, you can't, if they offered me a world title heavyweight, I wouldn't have said no. So you can't turn them opportunities down in life.
You're obviously here living with Barry now. How is it being part of the Ingle camp where it's busy, where there's quite a few fighters of a good world-class level and there's a lot of camaraderie between the teammates, it seems?
Listen, in this gym you either got it or you haven't. Do you know what I mean? You can train with us and you know we can all work together and we all do the same sort of thing. But when that bell goes, it's, you know, we're all in good shape. It's down to you to produce the goods, and you know it's good banter and we all push each other on. But we're all alone in that ring when the bell goes, so we don't really all get mixed up in that. We all have a bit of banter and a bit of laugh, but the main thing is winning on the night.
Barry, in between mouthfuls, mate. I mentioned there about point to prove. You've been looking for this step up for a long time, haven't you? And it's been, you know, you've obviously got the Josh Warrington fight now, but you would say that you've been world class for more than a year or two already, and you've been knocking on the door.
Yeah, 100%. You know, to fight a fight like Josh Warrington as well. I've always wanted to fight another champion. I didn't want to fight for a vacant title, so I'm glad that Josh never vacated the title, because to be the man, you've got to beat the man. And you know, at this minute of time, he's the man. So after I beat him, even though I think after I beat him, people go, oh yeah, he wasn't that good anyway, you know, it was this and it was that.
Do you think that, even after the year he had last year?
Yeah, 2018 was his year, but 2019 is Kid Galahad's year. You know, they say good things happen in free. He won the world title, didn't he, against Lee Selby. Then he defended against Carl Frampton, and he had two twin daughters.
So now the luck's run out?
The luck's run out now, so 2019 is my year.
Were you impressed with what he did last year though?
No, I've known Josh for a long time, so I always knew. I knew them guys were going to underestimate him. I think with someone with his style as well, his best, you know, asset is people underestimate him because he looks so, his style and everything about him, it just looks, he doesn't look useless, but he doesn't look very good. You know, he doesn't look like, I don't know, people think, oh yeah, he's this, he's that, and I think people just underestimate him, and it just goes to show, doesn't it? Both guys underestimated him, and he stepped up. It's
a massive fight, but is the Warrington fight the one that you wanted above everyone else? You know, yeah. People talk about Valdez, people talk about Santa Cruz, and the other guys in the division. If you could have picked anyone, is it Warrington?
Yeah, 100%, because Warrington, like I said to you, he just come off 2 good wins. And he is the man. I know, you know, I don't believe that, you know, he wanted to fight me. If he could have vacated and gone on a different route or gone somewhere else, he would have. But he's got no option, you know, he's got nowhere to go.
Now you've both got fights and nearly dates in the pipeline.
Yeah.
Has the mood in the house changed at all with you guys? You know, is there a bit more focus? Is mindset a bit more?
Yeah, I think we're both more focused. You know, things just to change a bit, you know, we're on our diet more and...
It's fight mode, isn't it? You know what's going on, you know what's at stake. I think when you've got experience in the game, you learn to control it a bit better. Barry would be a bit more anxious than me because he's never tested that side of the water.
Do you realise when you know you've got a date, Billy, do you know that everything else in terms of discipline or whatever, do you know you need to rein it in when you've got a certain amount of weeks, when the clock's ticking?
100%, yeah. Every fighter knows that. You know when you know when you've got to be on it, and you know, for the last month now I've been on it. So you know, I had that fight in December, come back, had a little bit of a rest, a couple of weeks, and back in the gym. So hit the ground running, and to get some big fights in this year. This year it's not about the world title for me. It's not just about winning this world title. It's about doing good things after this. You know, performing, beating good fighters, then, you know, probably moving back down to get my middleweight title back, and you know, so I've got options this year, and I'm pleased to put myself in that situation.
Last year was a bit of a shocker in lots of different ways. How frustrating was it? Was it a depressing year, or was it frustrating? What was the overriding emotion? You
know, frustrating to say the least, but you know, sometimes in life things happen, and if that year's going to be the worst year of my life, I'll sign up to it now.
Would you say it is so far? It is the worst one that you've had?
In boxing, I'd probably say so, yeah. But you know, life's very important. You know, family's very important, and kids and stuff like that. So as long as we've all got our health and strength, you know, we're all winning. So, but look, at the end of the day, my title, what I lost, is only loaned out. They didn't beat the champion, and I'll prove what I've got to do at super middleweight. Then I'll go back and get what's mine.
Barry said that he wanted that Warrington fight ahead of anything else. You mentioned obviously possibly going back down to middleweight. If you could fight any of the middleweights, who would you want to fight?
I would like to fight Andrade because of the situation, but you know, it's funny because when I was WBO middleweight champion, Golovkin never ever was mandatory. He never did want to make that phone call to the WBO and say, look, put me #1. But he wants to do it now, so you know, you look at things that you obviously fancy the job more with Andrade than obviously myself. But listen, if I please God come WBO super middleweight champion, then you know, if them two do fight, then I'll move back down. Then I'm mandatory, so they got to fight. And
Frank's adamant that Canelo would never want to fight you after what you did with David Lemieux, isn't he?
I think they had a meeting after with Oscar the lawyer, his team, and that, and I think they just said like to Frank and my team, MTK, that they're not interested. So, you know, it's one of them. It's one of them that, you know, some styles are bad for business, and I think mine's bad for business for his. So it's one of them. But I'm not chasing the middleweight scene anymore. You know, if they want me, they only got one call away. They only got to call me.
Sure. There's obviously a big fight at super middle this weekend with DeGale and Eubank. Will you be watching that? And do you have any desire to fight the winner?
Yeah, I love to fight the winner. You know, I love to give DeGale. Hopefully, please God, I do what I got to do, and I like DeGale to win. I think DeGale's the more seasoned, the more deserving opponent at a shot of a world title than Eubank. Every time he's stepped up to a good level, world-class level, he's been beat twice. So I just think, long as DeGale's nice and fresh and fit, he should do the job.
With regards to Eubank, though, there has been bad blood between you guys, so a rematch with you guys would be big business again. Yeah, it would be. It would be, but you know, unless you and you know, I signed the contract to fight him also twice, and they're very awkward. I don't know how he is now. He's with Al Heyman, but when he was with his dad in business, very awkward to deal with. Very, very awkward. And you know, I was happy with every bit, all the terms. Twice signed them, and last minute they just mucked about and pulled out. So they got their own reasons for doing it, I suppose. But they're very awkward to do business with, you know. And I leave that to lawyers. I don't really get involved in that, but they're an headache. So, you know, good luck to DeGale and him. You know, clearly getting a few quid. I wish him the best of luck with that. But to do business with them, I think that someone must beat Eubank. He expects the same sort of deal and the same sort of reasons in a contract to be the same. And he's just a nut job, isn't he? So, Barry, we mentioned Frampton and Warrington. Neither of them have had many nice things to say about you in the last few weeks. Have you seen what they've said?
Yeah, it's what it is, isn't it? You know,
Can you say what they said? I don't know what they said.
They were talking about, I think, that Barry should be banned from the sport, really, and that they both hope that Warrington does a number on him.
I think Frampton said that, didn't he? Frampton's irrelevant.
Far
He's just.
him to be banned as well.
Frampton's irrelevant, don't he? He's just, you know, I'm just bothered about fighting winners. I don't want to be fighting losers like him. You know, he's washed up and he don't live the life. You know, he's a pisshead, drinks Coronas, eats, you know, tacos, out of shape, fat little man. What can I say? You know, really, I don't know. I don't even know why BT put money back into him. You know, I think, you know, he's had his good days, hasn't he? You know, he's on the back end of his career now. I think this year what he'll try and do is just, you know, cash himself in. Probably fight Oscar Valdez, Leo Santa Cruz, get beat up even worse. Then he got beat up by Frampton. Then call it a day.
Do you think they're trying to sort of make you out to be the odd man out in the division, that they've sort of got this thing where they're
listen, there has to be a bad guy and there has to be a good guy, isn't it? And I'm happy playing the bad guy, you know. If they want me to be the bad guy, I can be the bad guy. It's not a thing, is it? You know, it is what it is. It is what it is.
Does it bother you when you see it, when you've
Not
heard
really,
about it?
no. Not really, no. Why would it bother me for?
Well, it's never nice to hear anything negative about yourself.
Everybody entitled to their own opinion.
But also everyone likes positivity, don't they? People like people talking about them in nice ways.
If people are not talking about you, then you're doing something wrong, good or bad.
As long as you're relevant.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And put it this way, I must have been in Frampton's head because he come all the way out to America to watch me fight, and he was sat there ringside. They're watching me, trying to learn off me.
Would you like to fight? Would you like to fight, Carl?
After I beat Warrington. In fact, no, I wouldn't, because he's a loser. What am I going to gain of beating him? What can I gain from beating him?
Well, he can fill up stadiums and fill up arenas in Belfast. So would you take any satisfaction going to Belfast to beat him over in Belfast?
But what is it going to get me? Is it going to get me closer to you know, after I beat Warrington? Is it going to get me close to any of the other big fights? Probably not. No.
Put a lot of pennies
in
the bank, though.
They're all going to just say, "Oh yeah, but he's washed up. He's this. He's that."
Okay.
He probably won't. He will never fight me.
I think he said that as well, hasn't he?
Because he'll get the worst beating of his life.
And Billy, on another note, obviously we've seen the news that your little mate Denver's passed away. How much has that hit you and affected you over the last few weeks, and or even how much has it motivated you moving forwards?
Yeah, listen, I got extremely close with him, and you know, when you make a bond with someone like that, it's, you know, at the time he was like the sad time he was passing away. His mum would keep me informed. I was in, you know, chats with the family, but she wanted me to go down there and go to the hospital. And I just made a few excuses up because I couldn't bring myself to be there. I wanted to, because I knew it was his last days, and I wanted to remember him how I remembered him. You know, I didn't want to see him in that condition. And his burial's on the 2nd of March, so it'd be a tough day for the family and condolence to the family. And he was a little warrior, proper little warrior, lovely little kid, and I built a good relationship with him, and it's sad to see him go.
Do you feel you managed to make a bit of a difference around Christmas time and so forth, and put a bit of a smile on his face there?
I think that his family made the difference, not me. I mean, I only did something anyone could have done on the street, really. But I just had a little click and a bond with him, and you know, it's sad when things like that happen, obviously, in any walk of life. And you know, like I said, his family made a big difference and made him happy while he was here. I made a bond with him rather than he made a bond with me as well. Even though he was ringing me, FaceTime me every day, and that it's a sad situation, very sad. Those memories, they're the sort of thing that you will take into training camp to motivate you moving forwards, to do stuff in his memory. Definitely, 100%. This fight is for him, my next fight. And you know, when you sit back, and you was touching on earlier on that, you know, was it the worst year for you and this and that, and you look at in real life, real terms, boxing's one big game. You know, really, no one gets out of it a winner. But when you look at his circumstances in life and what he was fighting and what he was going through, the age of him and how strong he was, me being there and watching how strong he was, like, he didn't care about all his injections and his needles and everything else. And you sum everything up in life, and we're not doing too bad. Whatever the results, whatever the outcome in financial and the boxing world, and you know, personal life like that. You know, you have to weigh things up proper, and you know, that's, you know, he's a little soldier. That's all I'm gonna say about him.
Brilliant. Okay. So Barry, should we come back here in a few months' time? What are the odds of us having a couple of different world titles on the belt, on the table in front of you?
You got any money? Do you want to bet? We'll have a gamble.
He's a betting man. Looks like a betting man.
I do.
Yeah.
I'm not a betting man. I'm not a betting man. But what do you reckon? A couple of world titles on this table?
100%. The IBF and the WBO title will be on this table here, and we're gonna invite you to come back here and get part 2.
And so we told you.
Brilliant. Okay. Thank you very much, gents.